So about 2 years ago, I started watching this hypergamous channel on YouTube. I was like really listening to what this lady, her name is Chloe. So, I was really listening to a lot of her content, which in turn gave me a different perspective of women that I really didn't. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't know it exists. I just didn't really give it too much thought. So basically, her channel is geared towards women knowing their worth and dating high value men. Example, men with lots of money and things like that. And she really gives some good solid advice, and she can be stepping on some toes at the same time. But overall, I do appreciate the content that she puts out about the hypergamy life, and being provided for and taken care of and living a soft life and all of that kind of stuff. But I can honestly say that, I never had that experience. So I can't speak from experience. I can only speak from, let's just say, speculation, assumptions, and theory, that type of thing. Because, again, I have not experienced a hypergamous lifestyle or whatever the case is. But what I can speak for is what's in my spirit. And who I am, I'm not out here recruiting or trying to gain a following or to persuade people to think or feel what I feel or do what I do. But I like to share, I'm here on earth and I'm alive and I'm taking space up in this motherfucker and I got an opinion. So I'm going to share it. So again, I always had this whole sense of independence about myself. I always, kind of thought for myself. I received a lot of, backlash or, climbing an uphill battle, having my own mindset and thinking and doing things differently than other people. And, it took me a while to make peace with who I am and realize, like, I'm somebody that's really unique. Although I'm not the only one, in a sense. But I guess that's what unique means. But, I'm different. Put it like that. So I never bought into that whole American dream, getting married and all that stuff. Now, at one point in time, yes, I did want it. I wanted to get married, have a bunch of kids, get a big ass house and fill it up with children. I had that concept, for my life, but I played the cards that life dealt me. And I always just got this mindset that nobody owes me shit. Not a male, not a female. I was born with the ability to think, to actually use my hands to do things, my feet to carry me where I need to go, and a mind to figure out and problem solve and things like that. I consider myself an able-bodied adult that has the function, the mindset, the ability to, one, do for self. Number two, make a difference. To not just be somebody to take a space or a placeholder or, just another body here on earth. I'm actually want to make a difference. And, I'm going to get what is mine. I'm going to get what's mine, period. So I heavily rely on myself, and I'm okay with that. I feel whole by doing that. It makes me feel whole and complete by being able to hold my own, being able to function in this world and figuring out, and you know what I'm saying? Like, adulthood is not easy. And the world is constantly changing. And to be able to keep up with that and to do it, even though, let's just say at the end of the day, I'm tired or I got aching muscles or something. At the end of the day, I'm thankful that I have the ability to do that. I pray, to, in a sense, remain humble, not for others, not for another human being, but for myself, to always realize that I'm just a small speck in the universe. So the strength to be able to be self-supportive, to make a difference, but humble enough to know that when I'm no longer existing in this physical form, that the world will go on. And like I said, I'm just a very small link in a chain. Maybe a unique, different color link, but I'm a link in the chain nonetheless. So it's the chain itself that is effective. The link is as strong as the chain, you know what I'm saying? But like, I'm a part of a whole. So I pray for that humility. And the older I get, and I'm learning even from my children. My daughter Zenzele is so advanced in her intellect, and she gets things, and she's with the times in her generation, and things like the LGBTQ something. I forgot all the other acronyms or letters, but and gender fluid and non-binary, I'm learning from her. And with that, plus my own knowledge and my past experiences and things like that, and just observing the world around me, I've really come to the conclusion, and I really do feel like this. I don't know if this is conditioning or is this just how I truly feel, but honestly, every person is responsible for their health, their wealth, their well-being, their peace of mind, their emotions. I just don't see why I just feel like every person that is able-bodied, that does not have a hindrance or a handicap that keep them from functioning like an able-bodied adult that can make a living and support themselves. I don't feel like nobody should put an emotional responsibility onto anybody else. I think people should really hold themselves accountable for their own emotions, and they should ask themselves why they feel a certain way versus trying to make someone feel bad for stating the obvious or calling a thing without you being so offended. Being offended ain't nobody business but yours. There are some people that come out and blatantly disrespect people and shit. I'm not here to give you lessons on how to handle disrespect. That's something you got to figure out for yourself. But the point I'm trying to make is that whether you a male or a female, You are not a helpless motherfucker if you an adult and you able-bodied and you got all your functions and abilities. And I realize we all live different lives and everybody has a right to their own preference and choices. But I think in this day and age, there should be this whole self-movement. And when I say that, meaning that every person be held accountable for their own choices and their actions. And they don't put that responsibility off on anyone else. That they really, like, I wish I could lock every human being in a room with themselves for a year with having access to outside clothing, food, and shelter, but just be locked into like a mirror type of, like, be confined, not locked, but confined to a mirror room where you have to really, in a journal, and you have to like be totally honest and transparent with yourself. I feel like every human should undergo that. Especially when people got like this whole, when they avoid accountability and avoid seeing themselves. I don't like people who try to make themselves someone else's responsibility, male or female. I think you weak as fuck. I mean, I'm being honest. And that's my opinion. And I can have that. And yeah. What's the reason? See, it's like everybody, like we've been dealing with these types of gender roles and what's expected. Is not a law. Is not something that is written in stone, and is not something that you were born with. But somehow, some way, people want people to adapt to the whole traditional way of doing things, the provider, protector role, and the homemaker, and all of that kind of stuff. And there are a lot of people that are using that, male and female, that are using that agenda to be lazy bomb-ass leeches, energy vampires. And they strategize to suck you dry. How many men can honestly say that they were married to women and they might have done them right? They fucked up. You might have fucked up a little bit or whatever the case is, but she wiped your fucking accounts clean. How many, women who did live the hypergamous lifestyle, how many of y'all ever, like, y'all undergo so much mental abuse, and you got to it's like you really married the ego of the high quality, high value man, but you got to put up with so much mental abuse, maybe even physical abuse, in the sake of making sure you can shop and buy this purse and look good and post this and post that, when you can actually do for self. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if you put your brain to work to strategize to build your own fucking business versus gotten to try to manipulate a man or play on his ego to get things out of him. I don't like people like that. That's why you will not catch me hanging with a band of people, a fucking squad. Everybody is being calculative and trying to figure out how they can take from other people without giving shit back. Motherfuckers, they ought to offer classes to make people aware of narcissism and energy vampire type shit. Y'all like really should do a whole course on different people and their lifestyles and their strategies and shit. Bring that shit to light to show people that a lot of times y'all been bamboozled. Like this whole concept of submissive dominance, fucking patriarch, matriarch bullshit. It's just human fucking concepts that we just all went along with. But just imagine everybody did things like they built their own American dream and acted on it versus trying to keep up with the Joneses or going off some old outdated shit that was passed down that may have worked once upon a time for this person, but times have changed and people have changed and people's approaches have changed, yet they still pushing this agenda. Like, come on now. Wake the fuck up. Food for thought. Peace and blessings, y'all.